Hi, this is Rachelle with Scrapcraftastic, and I think this year I want to do something a little different for the 2023 Scrapcraftastic Weekly Planner and Journal Challenge. For the last few years, I've done my prompts, or since the beginning of the challenge, I've done all the prompts in one planner or another. This past year, I attempted to do them all in the Dollar Tree planner, and I kind of got a little bit bored with that because there's only so much you can do with the prompt in a planner. So this year, I'm thinking I'm going to try something different, as I mentioned. So I have these three journals, notebooks, traveler's notebook, Discbound system, and watercolor journal. I have these three out because these are something that I considered using this year to do the challenge, to do my challenge spreads in. And I didn't want them to be planner spreads necessarily. I kind of wanted to do mixed media, planner style junk journaling using stickers and washi tape and paper and things like that. Some combination of those things, more creative. My thought process was maybe I should use one of these, or maybe I should make my own. So these are just a few of the samples of things that I could use. So I started out doing Mixed Media Mondays. I did one, and it was well received. However, so this is the one that I did for Mixed Media Monday. And my intent was to do this on Mondays. Well, my next one was this. The book has been closed in the media. I guess I needed to treat this with something to keep it from cracking like this. But anyway, I recorded this whole thing. It did not turn out the way that I wanted it to. So I never edited the footage. But this was this next Mixed Media Monday that you never saw. And then I was playing around on these pages, and then that was it. That was everything that I did. So this is a standard size traveler's notebook. I have this notebook that I worked in. I have this notebook that I actually made myself. I think this is either mixed media paper or watercolor paper. And then this notebook is just regular paper, I think. And I was just playing around in that. Okay. So I considered using this. Then I said, well, I made a whole junk journal for Junk Journal July for 2022. Maybe I can just move back into that and do them there. I love everything that I did here, but this is supposed to hold this close. I don't know how I feel about the Discbound system for journal pages like what I want to create. I don't know. I may end up back in this one. This is more along the lines of what I want to create. Not necessarily things like this. More like this. Using the stickers and things like that. And maybe not even as much mixed media as I used here. So I was thinking about moving in here. This is made up of misprints or unused printable inserts and different things that I have printed that I didn't use, and I just didn't want to waste the paper, and I can always just cover or use whatever print is on here as a background design. So I have that option. Then this one is probably not an option. It's just entirely too big. This is, I think, A4 size, pretty much equivalent to letter size. And although I like this book, it's just too much real estate for me to have to cover or decorate or design on. I think the paper quality would probably be wasted on what I want to do because this is watercolor paper. And I did like test some watercolors and things back here. But I don't think I want to use it. And it feels like one side is like the cold press, one side is hot press. I don't know if that's even possible, but one side has a smooth, flat texture, and the other side of the paper has that rough texture. So anyway, that is that option. I don't see myself using this one for this. Possibly this one. But then I had another idea. I have tons of these index cards from when my children's school supply list said that they needed them and they really didn't, and from me shopping the back to school sales after everybody's gone back to school in our area. So I have quite a few of these. These are 4x6, I'm pretty sure, not the 3x5s. 4x6, yes. So I could actually make myself a little book using 4x6 index cards. That would use the index cards. They're not the heaviest, but they, I don't know, these seem to be about the weight of regular paper. So as an example, I could easily turn these into a book, a little book. It would have lines. Maybe I could use this side and then have the line side in the back, or I could do every other one with lines, one without. It would just mean me going through and flipping the pages the way that I want them. So as an example of what I could do, this is a book block that I started, and I think this was just some scrap paper that I wasn't using, and it's the different color papers, but I'm not sure I could use this because it is around 4x6. Well, it is 4x6. So this is 4x6. I've already made a book block with this. All I did was put the pages together, use a clamp or something to hold them really tight. Then I took a PVA glue, which is basically a white glue, and dabbed it on here and just left it to dry, being held together. And you can make your own book. These were individual sheets. All I did was make sure that glue got down in there really well when I put it on there, and left it to dry with the clamps on it. And this is what I got. So I made 2 of those. So I don't know, maybe I can use this instead of making a whole new something with the index cards. But I really want to use the index cards too. Let's see, what can we do here? Or what should we do? Because I'm not really crazy about the idea of the different colored pages, even though I've made these. I had an idea specifically in mind for these, so maybe I better hold off on those and just go ahead and do the index cards. That way I can show you how I put it together. And I think I will go ahead and switch them around so that the line sides will be together and the blank sides will be together. So I'm going to go ahead and change those, and then I'll be back. I have flipped all the cards in the direction that I want them to be. So every other page will have lines. This is a form of perfect binding. However, I am not an expert. As you can see, I've done this a few times before, not a lot. I've watched several videos showing how to do it. I do not have the correct tools to do it, but it has worked with what I do have. So that's what I'm going to do. If you want more precise, correct information on how to do this, search perfect binding single sheets on YouTube, and you may find some information that is helpful. So normally you would have some type of press to hold everything together. Again, I don't have that. So we're going to make do with what we have. So I have these big clamps from Dollar Tree that I purchased a while ago. I'm going to use those to help get us started. And let's see, this is going to be our bound edge. Let me make sure, because I want the red lines to be towards the outside. So yes, so ordinarily this would be clamped into a, I don't know what the thing is called, but it would be clamped into something and holding it up like this. So since I don't have that, I'm going to make my own type of clamp by clamping these onto the bottom edge, bottom for what we're doing here. Then I'm going to get a few more clamps, and you could probably use binder clips for this too. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is nice and tight and clamp it up here as well. Let's move this down a little bit. Now there is a version of this type of binding where you lean the pages over, apply the glue, and then lean them the other way. I'm not sure I'm going to do that this time. That's fairly new to me. But the way we have it clamped here, I could do that. So what I would need is a PVA glue. This is some PVA glue that I have had for a while. I could probably also use this tacky glue from Eileen. Tacky glue. You kind of want a thick glue for this, something that dries clear. This is actually a bookbinding glue. Because that is almost empty, I'm gonna need some way to pour it out, something to pour it out on. So I'm trying to use every little bit that I can. Okay, hopefully that's gonna be enough. Then you want a stiff bristled brush. Okay, I almost forgot a step. I haven't done it this way before, so that's why I almost forgot. So I want to put my end papers on now. So I have two pieces that are 8x6 that I'm going to use as end papers. And I'm going to fold that with the decorative side inside. You could use a scoreboard to do this a little more accurately, but I'm okay with doing it this way. Okay, let's get this one folded. Let's take the clamps off for now and rethink this. So this is the outside of my book. This is the outside edge. This is the edge that I'm going to glue. I want to put the folded edge of my end papers here. Hopefully, yes. So when you open the book, this is what you would see. And then you would go to the pages. All right. Then I'm going to do this in the back. So when you open it in the back, that's what you will see. Do I want to do it this way? I don't think it really matters. Okay. We're good. So let's go back now and clamp it together, even though this is a little longer than it needs to be. Let's trim that off a little bit. Gotta be careful not to make a mess with the glue. So let's just trim a small hair off of here. Let's see what happens. That's better. Yes. Now this isn't going to be perfect, of course, but I want to do a good job if I can. Because this one seems like it's cut a little weird too. But we're not going to worry about it. Let's go. Put the clamps back on. Make sure it's all nice and even. Then put my other clamps back on. Now, I also am going to need a piece of cloth to go over it. Let's do that next. The cloth that goes over this, I don't know what the name of it is. I've seen people use a variety of different things. I could use some muslin. I also have this cheesecloth. Usually cheesecloth has a very loose, I don't know if that's going to work because it's so loose, it might not hold very well. You could probably use a gauze or some type of medical tape, but let's just cut a piece of this cheesecloth off. I might just use this instead of using fabric. And you can get cheesecloth at the grocery store. I'm not really even sure where I got this one from. And I'm going to cut it a little shorter than the book block. So a little shorter than 6 inches. And I think this is even a double layer. I don't want to pull on it too much. Okay, so we're going to start out with the cheesecloth and see how that goes. All right, so now we got everything we need. Got my brush. This is the one that I have with the stiff bristles. I'm just going to take the brush. I really want to move these up. I'm not going to move them up yet. And dab my glue on. Now, the video that I saw recently said to lean the pages over, so I'm going to lean them over just a little bit. I can't lean these as well as I would like, but I'm leaning a little bit, and my end paper is not in the bunch because this is a little stiff to lean over. And then you just apply the glue to the spine area. And then I like to kind of press down like that to make sure that maybe a little glue gets down in there. And then in the video that I watched, they came back and leaned it in the other direction and applied more glue. So that's what we're going to do here. Now keep in mind the blocks that I showed you, I did not use any of this. I didn't put the end papers on. I haven't done the fabric part of it yet. What you saw was simply where I had glued the pages together. That's it. That's all I'd done. Ooh, it's hard to bend the other way. And I think this glue is just old enough and thick enough to work for this actually. So you don't want glue on the ends. So this end, see I got a little bit there. You don't want glue there. You want the glue on the spine. It's okay if it goes a little bit on the sides here, but you do want to go back and wipe that a little bit to make sure that you don't have any clumps and lumps on the sides. So I think I am good here. Just clean up the sides, make sure our ends are clean. Okay, so now I'm going to put the fabric on. And again, this is just cheesecloth. And I'm just going to place it on here carefully. Just try not to have strings hanging out the end, even though I kind of like that look. Then I'm just going to smooth it down and kind of go over that with a little whatever glue is left on the brush, basically. Okay, so now I am actually going to move these up. Now what am I doing with this extra glue? So that's it for now. I'll let it dry and we'll be back. Quite a bit of time has passed since I put this piece together, so it is definitely dry. Let's take the clips off. I've had the clips on there so long that it's made indents in the paper, but I don't think it went all the way through. Well, you can tell a little bit, but I think I can rub those out. So this is what it looks like on the inside. And the book is together. I think I might have some weak spots though. Let's see. It looks kind of weak right there. But overall, I think it came together pretty well considering I don't have an actual book press. Okay. And we're just using, I think these are either Dollar Tree or Walmart 4x6 index cards. Okay. All right. So now it's time to put a cover on it. The spine is 1/2 inch, a little smaller actually. So I'm going to cut a spine piece. And then I have these offcut pieces of chipboard from another journal cover. I layered 3 fairly thin pieces of chipboard. So these are nice and sturdy. And I don't have anything already layered for a spine, so I'm going to cut one of these. I think this is cut crooked, but I'm going to cut one of these. I don't know if I need 3 layers for the spine. I might just do 2 and see how it goes from there. Now, like I mentioned, it's been a while since I did this, since I started this, so I'm not really sure what I mentioned about the purpose of it, but I wanted to use it possibly as a journal for the Scrapcraftastic Weekly Planner Challenge. Let me do it like this to make sure I get it right. But I also still kind of want to use the Dollar Tree planner. I don't know. I may end up using this for something else, but I still wanted to finish it just in case. Okay. Okay. This is a little wider than I wanted it to be, but I think that should do it. Let's see. I'm going to go with that. And then let's cut it at 6 inches. Just go slightly over. Okay. And I check to see if that's going to fit. It might be a little too wide, but we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 together. Just going to use my art glitter glue for that. Okay, give that time to dry. While that is drying, I'm going to go to my heavy duty paper trimmer and trim these down as well. I don't like that one of them is curved the way that it is, but I'm going to mark this even though I don't think that's going to be of much help. We'll see. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. They are trimmed down, hopefully the right size. Once I wrap them, they'll be a little bit bigger, so I think that's good. Why do they look crooked? Oh, it's my glasses. All right, so this is gonna go around like that. Oh boy, I hope I made them big enough. Then this here, and then we'll have a nice little 4x6 book. Okay, what am I gonna wrap with? I hadn't decided what kind of paper I want to use to cover this. Maybe I'll use some of the same paper pad that I used to do the end papers. All right, let's start putting this together. So I guess I'll build this like a regular book, like I normally do, a typical journal, and lay out my pieces, make sure they are lined up. Just take my masking tape. This isn't a typical thing, but I like to get my pieces lined up and secured in place. I think we got it. So now I'm going to go in all the way down. And hopefully that will work. So let's see, what paper do I want to cover this with? I've been using this pad so much that it is falling apart. I need to put my little pocket on the back to hold all the scrap pieces. This is an old hot buy paper pad from Michaels from 2019. Wow, time is going so fast. It's called Moonflower Magic, and I liked it because of these florals. This is upside down, I think. Yeah. And I have used this quite a bit. I think I'm going to use maybe I should use this page. Let's see. Okay. I think I can do that. Okay. I'm going to trim it down. I'm going to use my binding tool. I'm leaving about an inch around the edges. So I'm just using the width of this. I don't know if it's an inch. It might be a little less. But I'm just using this as a guide on where I want to cut. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut it with scissors. And I may have to end up wrapping the spine maybe with some type of tape because this paper may crack and tear because it's not the best quality paper. But we'll see how it goes. All right. I think I'm going to make this the inside. Oop. All right, so I marked where I need to glue this at. Now, what glue do I want to use? I need to use something good. I think I'll go with the Fabri-Tac. Probably not the best idea, but I'm pretty sure it will hold up and not warp my paper. So I'm making sure that I cover the whole thing. You could take your finger or a tool to smear that out. I don't really like to touch this too much because it irritates my skin. So I am just going to go ahead and put it in place. Let's line it up with my guidelines. There. Press that down. Did I move it? Okay. Then I'm going to do the spine. And the other side. So now let's flip this over, smooth it down. Let's use my old gift card. Spread the glue. Making sure it's not seeping out on the other side. All right, then I'm just gonna go around, start training the paper to get ready to fold around the edge of the cover. So I might need to do something with that spine. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm pretty sure eventually I will have to cover the spine because it might not hold up where the fold area is. Okay, where's my ruler? I'm going to go ahead and draw these lines. This is a tool that helps you miter your corners and leave the appropriate amount of space from the corner so that when you wrap the cover, it doesn't leave an open space there. That makes sense. If I just cut right up against the edge of the chipboard, when I get ready to fold or wrap the chipboard, there will be an open space there where you can actually see the chipboard. So this kind of helps guide to make sure that you don't end up with that space. Hopefully it'll work, because this is 3 layers of chipboard and I'm not sure that that's enough space, but we're gonna go with it. All right, so I can't use that tape. I guess I'll just use this one. So I'm gonna use double-sided tape for this, and glue, I guess. So I'm gonna run a piece around the edges and then around the edge of the chipboard. It's easier to tear. Let's close the glue. It's easier to tear it with the ruler and get it straight. Just move the tape for now. I didn't get this quite to the edge. Let's see. I haven't burnished it yet, so I should be able to move it over. There we go. Now I need to burnish down all of that tape. Make sure that it's adhered well. And I'm going to go around with my bone folder and again start breaking down those fibers in the paper. Get them ready and pliable, ready to fold. Okay. Let's take the tape off of one side of the chipboard and the same side of the paper. I'm going to use, once again, my art glitter glue to add some additional adhesive here. Oh wait, I forgot a step. I need to trim these corners off. Let me do that real quick. That was another reason for actually drawing the line, so I don't have to guess. Back to this. All right. So after you put down the tape, trim your corners. Then if you're gonna need extra glue, add your glue. I'm using extra glue just in case the double-sided tape doesn't cover the entire width of the paper here. I want to make sure that it is all adhered well. Then I'm going to use the momentum of the chipboard and the cover to wrap that around. Okay. And then I'm going to take the bone folder and get down in there so that this paper adheres to that spine well and the gap in the spine. Use the bone folder to press that down and mold the edge. I think we're good there. Let's go on to the other side. So I usually do the long sides first and then the 2 short sides. And then I'm going to go along the edge of the chipboard with a line of glue. Okay. Then again, weight and momentum of the actual board and bring it over and get this pressed down. That took some glue out of there. All right, let's do the short edges. Before I do, I'm going to go ahead and push in this little piece that's going to make the corner. Push it down and in. Do all of it so I don't forget. Do both sides. Down and in. So, okay. Down and in. Make sure that's down. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the tape off. Add glue. Okay. All right. And see, when you tuck the corners like that, you get a nice clean corner. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Just make sure these are down and in. Okay. All right. And make sure, where's my towel? Wipe up any excess glue. Try not to do it with your hands like I do. And I know the glue irritates my skin, but I keep doing it. Okay. So that is our cover. Cute. Now where is our book block? Let's get rid of some of the trash. Okay. Dun 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 dun. I didn't even mark this front or back. I don't even remember. And the paper that I use for the end papers is non-directional. Let's see. I think I want this to be the front. Yes. So I'm going to put an F on here just so that I don't mess it up. Look at that. This is going to be so cool. I hope it works when I glue it down. Wow. Can you believe it? That's so cute. Okay. Now let's go ahead and glue the block into the cover. So I am not going to add glue to the spine, just to the front and back. And I'm going to add the glue to this. Normally, I think you would use a white bookbinding glue, but I'm going to be a little extra and I am going to use my Fabri-Tac because I just feel I can trust it. Some white glues or bookbinding glue or is it PVA glue? Not sure that I can trust. So let's do this. Now, I can use my spatula here to spread that out and also go ahead and lay down the cheesecloth. And I hope this sticks and sticks well. Let's add a little bit more. Let's make sure everything is lined up. And now I'm going to do the front. Okay, I don't know what I did wrong, but I think I did something wrong. It looks nice. This is a little short. I had to do something wrong. I don't know what. This is okay. I think maybe it just needs to dry. So since this is a little short in the back, I might come in and put one of those cute little pockets back here. Let's put a pocket and hide our mistakes. So, do I want to have any bling in this? I don't think I do. Let me find something simple to work with. I'll organize that later. So if I do a pocket, I need to add 1.5 inches, so I need to add 3 inches to this. Okay, let's measure it. So I need to add 3 inches, so I'm trimming here at that. All right, so let's trim this off. And then I'm going to score at 1/2 inch a couple of times on either side. I hope this works right. Maybe I don't need that much of a gap, but let's see. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and I'm going to turn it around. 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch. Then what's going to be the bottom? This can be the bottom. I think I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. All right, so what I need to do is this little rectangular area on the 1/4 inch area, I'm going to trim that off, slightly miter it on the 3/4 inch side, then do the same thing on the other side. I might have made a big mess here, but we'll see, because I'm used to adding in this piece instead of having it connected, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work. Yeah, I have to fold this in an accordion type. Well, I think it will work in an accordion type fold. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, so that's what that will look like. Folding it in an accordion type fold towards the inside or towards the back. Okay, then let's see. I want my accordions to go inside that bottom flap. It might be too long. It looks like it is. Let's scooch this in some. It's sticking out too much. Let's make sure we are in the right place. And I think I do need to cut some of this off. It's too wide. So let's trim some of that off. Okay, here we go. All right, let me burnish this down because these folds are a little loose. Get a good crease on those. So I want it to be as flat as possible before I start adding glue or tape. I think I'm just going to do glue. So let's go ahead and glue this to this. Should I put a notch in this? I don't usually see those. I don't think I will. Okay. Then I'm going to glue down all 3 sides. I probably could have mitered that a little bit too, but so let's cover up our mistake and add a nice little feature to our index card journal. All right, let's kind of clamp that down. I don't think I want to use the big clamps. So let's let that dry up a little bit. My issue is that it doesn't quite lay flat. Maybe over time, I'll probably mess around and break the binding to get it to lay flat. But for now, this is what we got. It kind of lays flat. And I probably could have done a much better job with the glue. I don't know what happens. Usually the first time I do something, it comes out perfect. Then when I do it again, is when I start having issues with it. Okay. So let's let that dry. Okay, I think, let's see if we could take these off now. And then, ooh, I should have probably folded that edge over to give it a little more stability. I didn't even think of that. Next time, we'll remember. So we got a nice little pocket here. Let's see how it closes. Probably need to sit this on under a stack of books for a while to make sure everything is nice and adhered. I really want this has a name, but I can't think of it right now. I really want that to be a little more prominent. Let's see. I guess the more I do these, the better I'll get. I'm so used to doing a junk journal that doesn't have to be perfect, that doing this that needs to be pretty perfect is a challenge. Okay, and I should have pushed that back a little bit more, but this is what we got. So this is my index card perfect bound journal, DIY journal, that I can use for journaling. I can use this as an art journal, a writing journal, a challenge journal. We'll see what happens. And on the pages where there are lines, if I don't want to use the lines, I can glue the pages together, and that will give me a heavier page for actually using it as a journal. So that was why I turned the lines on the inside. All right, so I think I've been going on and on about this long enough. We made a mistake, we fixed the mistake, and hopefully it will hold up. We'll see what happens. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you may be interested in this other video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.